Yes, yes, yes. Hi, hi, hi. Goddess of Radical Self-Love for Mecca. Make everyone count hours. We are a support network for radical self-love and self-care with focused attention on care receivers and caregivers. When our community's most vulnerable feel supported and valued, care receivers, and those who care for them, caregivers, we can all rest assured we will feel supported and valued as well. Yes, yes, yes. That's who we are, a community of supporters, right? I value you. Yes. So, today is Freaky Friday, my favorite day of the week. Yes, it sure is. Self-actualization day through our creative flow. Yes, all from the divine. Oh, you choose the output and you get the creative energy through our universe. Ta-da! Yes. So, thank you all for stopping by our network if you're new, and to all our subscribers, thank you so much for your likes, comments, yes, subscriptions, donations. So much love and gratitude for you all. Mwah. So, we are going to borrow or utilize U.S. Anderson's 3 magic words. Yes. We're also doing a meditation after this on success. So for the Patreon channel, Patreon.com/Goddess of Radical Self-Love. But when I was going through the meditation for tonight, I realized that U.S. Anderson supports everything I'm talking about in this actual chapter. So I figured tonight we would dive in a little bit on his process of flow and understanding of creativeness through his chapter on success. But we're only going to take a tidbit, so don't get worried. We won't be here all night, but you do get to be with me. Yay! You know I love y'all. Super. I love what I do, and I love you, and I definitely love me, or else it would be really hard to love you. You know, that's the Goddess of Radical Self-Love. That's what we teach. Love from in pours out. So it's pouring out, pouring out, pouring out all the time onto all of you. Yes, my love. Pure, genuine, compassion, forgiveness, no guilt, no shame. They're gone. Bye-bye. And then we just have fun and love on ourselves all the time. And then each other, right? In positive, healthy ways. You all know what I'm talking about. Yes, so here we go. U.S. Anderson's, yes. So this is an amazing book, 3 Magic Words. You all should have a copy and use it regularly. And if not, you can just listen to me. Thank you so much. So, power is creativeness. Money then is never an end. Hold up one second. I need to make this announcement in case you all don't know. We are in Pisces season. And because of this, I feel like I'm underwater all the time. I'm a crab, right? I am water. However, I'm used to being able to come out and walk on land and see what's up, and then go back whenever I want. However, now I'm underwater all the time, and I have troubles thinking and speaking at times. I am very sorry. Yeah. So just, hang in if you can. You know I love you, so yes, it's okay. I understand. So, power is creativeness. Money, then, is never an end, never a means. Always, it represents service only. For it is never more than a medium of exchange, and we can no more stop it coming our way when we are rendering service than we can start it coming our way when we are not rendering service. Above all things, dispense with the idea of getting the best of people. Each of us is like a pole in the flow of electric current. We absolutely cannot receive more current than we transmit, and always get back exactly what we send out. For moments in our lives, days, even months, we may seem to be giving more than we are receiving, or receiving more than we are giving. But in the end, the flow always balances. We never get the better of anything, nor are we ever dealt the worst. There are no bargains in living, nor is anyone duped except by himself or herself. Remember, when I say him, it also means her, etc., etc. Mutual exchange is always with us. It is life itself, and he who recognizes this will spend hours developing his capacity to serve and build and create and give. Whosoever compels thee to go a mile, said Jesus, go with him twain. No service that you perform can possibly go unrewarded, and no disservice that you perform can possibly go unpunished. The law of mutual exchange is the law of morality, of sin and punishment, of righteousness and reward. By the way, another update. We welcome all religions. Yes. So, I just wanted to say that FYI. We're metaphysicists in this arena. The divine is the divine. Universal. Yeah. How best can we serve? The answer is by creating, never by competing. We neither serve ourselves nor humanity by competing for another man's job, another manufacturer's market, another man's business. We serve by creating new jobs, new markets, new means, new methods. The magic that makes each of us what he is springs from an inexhaustible source. We are creative creatures, umbilically tied to the creative power of God. We create by our thoughts, miraculously each moment of every day. Beneath the level of our consciousness, there lies an infinite pool of knowledge upon which we may draw for every project we have the courage to embark upon. Always, God gives threads to those who spin a web, and he smiles on those who dare and aspire. No man is denied this creative power. It is the foundation, the root, the very essence of each of us. By working with it, we are carried to dazzling heights. By opposing it, we wither our lives in endless rounds of futility. The Wonderful Bank. I often engage in buying and selling oil properties, and occasionally someone will ask, how do you figure you are rendering creative service when people sometimes buy oil properties from you without realizing a return on their investment? I usually answer, everyone gains in some manner. All men benefit from the development of the petroleum industry through heating, transportation, plastics, to name only a few, and the interchange of oil lands in the integral part in the creation of the vast reservoir of petroleum that is so essential to our modern life. True, there are those who prosper more than others, but this is the law of life, and nothing can alter it. No one fails, but another forges ahead. Nothing is lost, nothing is wasted. We are all fulfilled the fondest wish of God when we take part in activities that create new wealth, new methods, new gains for mankind. During my years in the advertising business, I once had a client who sought new customers in an intensely competitive market. His answer was to cut prices to the danger point and employ great hordes of salesmen who used every possible ruse to sell. Despite the most frantic of his energy, his sales continued to decline. "Look here," he said, "I'm just as smart as my competitors. I work harder than any of them. Yet people buy their products, not mine. What's the answer?" "Do you like cheap imitations?" he was asked. "Of course not," he answered. "Then what leads you to believe your customers do?" "I never said they did," he protested. "But you act like it. You make a product just like Jones, only not quite as good, so you can sell it cheaper. You don't expand because you don't aspire. You need something new, something you yourself have created." "That's easy to say," he answered, "but what?" "Only you can find the answer. There's a great creative power that will work through you. Try opening your heart and mind to your inner self." "How?" he asked. "Through prayer." This man must have found a direct wire to God. Whenever a new product is introduced in the drug and grocery stores of the nation, chances are it is in his. Needless to say, he is a leader in his field. Recently, he was asked about the secret of his success. "I have a wonderful bank," he replied. "All the deposits are ideas. Whenever I want one, I simply draw it out." Unmasking the ego. Life is seeking to achieve. By seeking for achievement in our own lives, we make ourselves one with the purpose of the universe and become caught up in unrolling tides of unlimited power. And always we achieve by creating. Always we achieve by coalescing ourselves with the universal subconscious mind. By seeking the center of consciousness, by becoming one with God and getting ourselves out of the way. The thing we believe ourselves to be is never ourselves at all, but merely a papier-mâché gown we have donned and pleased ourselves to call I. It's the skin suit I talk about. We are human beings. There's someone being the human. Right? This is the ego. Tricky, despoiling ego, product of the awakening consciousness, which is always attempting to isolate us, to separate us from our true being. We wear a mask of vanity, this I of ours, and before we can truly learn to create, this mask must slip away. The ego must go. Vanity must go. We must strip ourselves of all pretension, of all vain posturing and humburgery. That's what it says, humburgery. Of all personal responsibility and conceit and pride. We must reduce ourselves to nothing so we can have eyes to see at last. Eyes to see the towering dimensions of our true being, a thing of no vanity at all, where all things lie revealed, the center of consciousness, the kingdom of heaven. We must get ourselves out of the way so the power can flow through. So success depends upon service, and service depends upon achievement. And achievement depends upon creation. And all creation springs from the universal subconscious mind, which responds to us as we use it. How then shall we be creative? We are, of course, all of us, already tied to the greatest creative power under the sun. We are using this creative power every moment of our lives. Indeed, we do little else than create. Yet all too often we are using the power in such manner as to bring evil and disaster into our lives. And more often than not, we have become so mesmerized with fear and frustration that we reduce our existence to mockery. The question is not how we can be creative, but instead, how can we learn to create only good? Imagination and creation. Universal subconscious mind protrudes through every conscious mind in the form of what we are pleased to call imagination. This play of imaginary, which we may summon into our conscious minds, has absolutely no limit upon it except that which we ourselves impose. All creative impulses spring from imagination. The imagination of Columbus allowed him to ask, what if the world were round? Universal subconscious mind did the rest. And one day Columbus found himself sailing westward on a sea which everyone said was flat. What if a man could fly? Asked Orville Wright. And the universal mind provided him with the answer one day at Kitty Hawk. It is the undreamed, the undone, the impossible, which, like itself, is constantly striving to achieve. Only an unfettered mind, where imagination has full play, has the audacity to challenge the impossible. What if I could make it cheaper? What if I could do it better? The imagination conceives, and the universal subconscious mind delivers. Men conquer disease, build great towers and bridges, provide transport by gasoline and diesel engine, light cities with invisible power, send pictures and voices through the air, whiz from one continent to the other via machines that travel through space, and all because the audacious imagination has dared to suppose that these things were possible. All of them. Every major advancement made by humanity when first conceived inspired laughter and diversion on the part of vast numbers of people who would rather be little. Sorry. It's kind of a profound statement. So all of them, every major advance made by humanity when first conceived inspired laughter and diversion on the part of vast numbers of people who would rather be little and blind and smug than big and humble and visionary. It matters not what your job is, whether you dig ditches or rule nations, the same power is available to you as is available to anyone, and even the most exalted of the earth use but a fraction of it. If you will discard the false notion that security rests with material things and place your faith and trust in universal subconscious mind, the power will go to work for you, creating in your life those very things which you allow yourself to imagine and accept. Consider the lilies of the field, said Jesus. They toil not, neither do they spin. Vain striving made them not, nor will worry hurry their bloom. They spring well formed from the power that governs all. The man may pursue his ends on earth with the same composure as the lilies nestled in the fields, with trust in God and faith in tomorrow. Join the power. Nothing remains static. The great rhythms of life, of birth and death, of ebb and flow, of bud and bloom, are all reaching, searching, building, expanding. God seeks to know through man. He seeks an ever greater self-awareness. He who attunes himself with the expanding nature of life makes himself one with the purposes of God, and success will surely come to him. Success then comes to him whose life is creative, and true creation brings forth into the materialized world the physical counterparts of thoughts, ideas, and conceptions aimed at the benefit of the human race. Through opening the channels by which the universal subconscious may operate through us, we arrange all things in our world. Said Lao Tzu, these two things, the spiritual and the material, though we call them by different names in their origin, are one and the same. To be successful, we must think success. To be surrounded by prosperity, we must think prosperity. But the prerequisite of both of these conditions is to put our great creative power to use through the love of God and the love of humanity. Thus we benefit others and life itself, and our good works return home to us in the form of success and prosperity. Nothing is done by men alone, and things are done by the universal subconscious mind in answer to thought and conception. What you think returns to you in physical reality, and when your thoughts are guided by love, good, inevitably returns to you. Turning your work over to God, letting love into your heart through perceiving the unity of all life, guarding the bastions of the mind so as to think only positively. These are the elements of success. With the key to the secret, he marches faster, from strength to strength, and for night brings day. While classes and tribes too weak to master, the flowing conditions of life give way. Emerson. Sorry, it's just so beautiful. Yes, I'm sorry it's Pisces season. Yes, I am humbled, as always. Yes. Thank you all for spending your Freaky Friday few minutes with me. I love you so much. And if you would like to join us for our success meditation, you can go over to the Patreon page. It will be on there probably within an hour. All right, then. I love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful Freaky Friday evening. Go and get your freak on. Yep, go and get your freak on. Go and get your freak on. We don't even need music. We got it in our heart, right? Yes. Love you. Mwah, 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 mwah.